by for a countdown.
10, 9, 8, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark, 5 to the 5.
5 minutes to the 5-minute mark for H1 Unlimited Heat 3A, presented by Davies Electric. Okay, we were talking about this earlier. At stake today for our H1 Unlimiteds is the Bill Muncy Cup. And just the fact that you could win a trophy that has Bill Muncy's name on it is a pretty big deal. We see the Muncy Memorial down here, arguably the greatest hydroplane personality and racer of all time. That's big enough in and of itself, but as we've been talking, there are two other titles that are on the line this weekend. One is the H1 Unlimited Team National High Points Championship. That was claimed yesterday by Miss HomeStreet, Miss Madison Racing. The boat is U1 right now. It will be U1 next year. The other title that is on the line this weekend, as we spoke earlier this morning, is our Driver National High Points Championship. JMK, J. Michael Kelly, the driver of the 8, the Miss Tri-Cities, has never won the H1 Unlimited Drivers National Championship. He sets it at his goal every year. He's got a slim 180-point lead on Jimmy Shane in the HomeStreet. There are still 800 points sitting on the table. There's 400 of them at stake right here, and there's another 400 in the final. The difference between first place and second place in this heat is 100 points. So you start doing the math. If J. Michael Kelly was to finish a second place to Jimmy Shane and a first place, that 180-point lead would become 80. I did that in my head. If they were to go out in the final and Jimmy were to finish first, J. Michael finished second, Mike would lose the National High Points Championship by 20 points. Bottom line, Mike has got to beat Jimmy at some point today.
Talk about bringing it down to the wire on that one, Brad. And that's what it's going to come down to, these starts. We saw some maneuvers yesterday. We're going to have to see what these guys do today. We saw the 8 out there a bunch yesterday doing a bunch of test runs, timing runs. We've got team factors going on. We've got two strong boats out there, Brad.
We do. They run them as separate teams. So I'm sure that's the way they will go out and compete. And you don't want to just sit here and have the discussion like I just did about what is going on between J. Michael Kelly and Jimmy Shane, because there is that boat that's in between them down here in the dock, the U9 and Corey Peabody. We're not talking about a slouch boat there. That is the defending Hapo Columbia Cup champion from 2 months ago. Corey Peabody was the winner on that fast racetrack up there in the Tri-Cities. So J. Michael Kelly, Corey Peabody, Jimmy Shane, 3 guys from the Pac Northwest. They know each other well. They've squared off many times, and they've squared off in just about every class of race boat you could come up with. This is going to be fun.
And that is what's so much fun is to watch these guys as they do that. Because on the course, they're out there chasing points. Off the course in the pit area, these guys are best buddies.
Okay, we're coming up on 6 minutes and 20 seconds to the start, 6:20. Not sure if I'll get a countdown to 1 to the 5. I might. If I do, I will pass it along. If not, I'm sure we will get one. And here it is.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark, 1 to the 5, 1 to the 5.
1 to the 5. So layman's terms, 6 minutes. We'll have boats out on the water. They cannot leave the pit area here until the 5-minute mark. So at about 30 seconds to the 5, I suspect we'll see crew members start moving. We'll see the lids go down. In fact, it's already gone down on Corey Peabody right now. Crew members are going to start stepping off of that boat.
They're taking that last little snitch on that 5-point harness. One more just to get them tied into the boat, and there goes down the lid of the H1 Unlimited HomeStreet boat. And that is driven by Jimmy Shane. He wants to go out there and grasp that title. He wants to make a double team of champions this weekend.
Coming up on 15 seconds to the 5-minute mark. It's going to get very interesting in the race before the race. Here's the countdown to the 5-minute mark.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark, 5 minutes.
5 minutes, the lids are down, the lines are off, the adrenaline is turned up. Ladies and gentlemen, San Diego Bayfair. Let's go racing in Heat 1A, presented for Bayfair by Davies Electric. Jimmy Shane is away. J. Michael Kelly is away. Corey Peabody is away. 1, 2, 3, what a sight here on Mission Bay. Our H1 Unlimiteds are out on the water for Heat 3A, presented for Bayfair by Davies Electric.
If you're just joining us and we're here the last couple days, here we're bringing out the big guns. Speeds of over 180 miles an hour. JMK posted, he hit 181 miles an hour here yesterday. That was the top speed of what he was hitting as he came down that backstretch and entered into turn 2. 181 miles an hour, Bradley. That is just incredible.
All right, so this is the race before the race now. Let's watch what's going on down here. Jimmy didn't go all the way down to the bottom of the race course. He instead wanted to cut the course. That's a legal maneuver, cutting it from front to back. J. Michael Kelly followed him across the course that way, and so did Corey Peabody. So all three of them cut the race course. There goes Jimmy again. Now we'll see if Mike wants to follow him, and Mike is going to follow him. We're playing a little follow the leader here, but we still have 3 minutes and 30 seconds before the start. There comes Corey Peabody. Now, watch Jimmy Shane. See if he doesn't cut the course one more time. He can do it. There's 3 minutes and 20 seconds left, although he is slowing down. I'm sure that is on purpose. Now Mike's going to come up behind him. Let's see what Mike's going to do. Mike's going to cut the race course. So now we have separated those two boats. What's Corey going to do? Corey likes the move made by J. Michael Kelly. So he's going to follow him across the race course. Jimmy is going to go all the way down. Inside 3 minutes, K. Brewer, 2:55 until our start.
All right, it looks like J. Michael Kelly once again going to take the opportunity to cut back on the inside of the course, and it's going to be followed by Corey Peabody. Jimmy Shane just now coming out of turn 1. All three of these drivers are spread across the Mission Bay. We are going to look forward to see what J. Michael Kelly does, if he's going to opt to come in one more time and cut on the inside of the course. He does. Once again, J. Michael Kelly coming over to meet up with Jimmy Shane in the HomeStreet boat. We are at 2 minutes and 28 seconds to the start of Heat 3A here in Mission Bay.
Watch what Jimmy Shane just did. He moved way to the outside, and now he's cut back to the inside, doing an S-curve like he's trying to scruff off some time. There's a lot of time laying here, and there they go again. That J. Michael Kelly cuts across the course again. He hasn't yet gone all the way down to the bottom or come all the way up here to the top. 2 minutes before our start.
Brad Luce, I have yet to see J. Michael take these particular runs all weekend long.
He's cut it again. He just went across the course one more time. Jean Thierret, you've been out there. You've been in the middle of this. This is when it's fun, isn't it?
Yeah, this is really good right now.
We call it the race before the race, and sometimes it is the most competitive. 1 minute and 40 seconds. There goes Mike again across the Corey.
Jimmy's gonna, looks like he might be doing some more S-curves, and he's gonna continue to go down that front stretch down back into turn 1. Jimmy Shane going at a slower speed.
Watch Mike. He's going to cut it again. He's got a minute 20. There he goes. That's going to give him an opportunity to get in the inside, but is he too early, Jean? What do you think?
Much too early. Much too early. He's going to have to go around again.
So coming up on 110. 110 until our start. And there goes Kelly one more time. But look at Corey. Corey might be in better shape on this.
White flag.
Inside the 1 minute mark. Now that was Corey. He goes out way wide. And now he's going to come around. He has cut the course every time. So has J. Michael Kelly. Kelly cuts it again. Now we're at 45 seconds. Going to get close here, guys. What do we got? He's going to go behind him. So JMK is coming around behind Jimmy Shane in the HomeStreet. Right now it is Shane in 1, Kelly in 2, and it's going to be Peabody in the outside in lane number 3. Now it's all about timing marks. Jean, do you remember how many seconds that exit into the line?
Well, from the entrance it's 22, so I think we're pretty close. It's probably 12 from the exit.
There we go, 12 off the exit. We'll see what it looks like, and they're at 14, 13, 12. I think they're right on the mark. They know what you're doing. Kelly got a lead as they're coming to the line. We are down to 5 seconds. Here is the all-important start. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 mark, and we are racing here in our Heat 3A presented by Davies Electric. It is Kelly and it is Shane. We're going to try and settle this right here and right now. Peabody trails the field down to the lower end of the race course. It is Jimmy Shane on the inside. Where's Kelly? Got to be right with him somewhere, looking for Mike. There he comes, right on his hip. This is really the first time these two guys all year have really been able to square off against each other. Yeah, they've been in heats together, but they've never really been side by side. It just flat hasn't happened. But we got it going on now, and the start has been ruled good. Jimmy Shane's got the lead. He's got about 5 or 6 boat lengths on J. Michael Kelly, but Kelly's going to stay in that right side rear view mirror. He wants Jimmy to make one slight mistake, and he'll be right there to pick up the pieces. But look at the boat speed that we are seeing in Jimmy Shane. Kay Brewer, he is picking him up and laying him down.
He is walking away from J. Michael Kelly. He says, you're not going to get these points easy. I'm going to make it work for it. Jimmy Shane is leading him into turn 1. J. Michael Kelly is now a rooster tail and a half behind the HomeStreet boat, but he wants to stay clear of that rooster tail because we don't want to see any of that go inside that motor and blow him out because he is looking for those points. Like we said, 800 points still on the line for today.
Yeah, and there's 400 of them sitting right here, right now. So JMK is going to keep the pressure on in case Jimmy makes a mistake. He's an excellent driver, obviously, with the number of championships he has won. But that doesn't mean he couldn't make a mistake somewhere. JMK is going to make him be held accountable. Top end of the race course here on lap number 2. The distance is about the same. Kelly staying within the rooster tail. Kelly's getting a message right now that if he wants to beat Jimmy Shane, I think he's going to have to be on the inside of him. The HomeStreet bank is flying down the front straightaway. He's going to come down and put 2 in the books, pick up a white flag, and he'll have 1 more lap to go. Look for JMK to stay right with him. I think the shouting's pretty much over in this, but he's still going to let Jimmy know that he is there. If he were to make one sort of a mistake, have a bobble, have the boat get out of attitude, he's going to stay right there. Kelly's still sitting right in the rooster tail there at the bottom end of the race course. Off the exit pin of turn number 1 on the third of 3 times around the race course, Kay. Jimmy Shane has got a lot of speed.
J. Michael Kelly swings way wide coming down that backstretch, and they have been hitting some rough rollers that were left behind on that turnaround and that he was doing on the 3-minute and 5-minute gun. J. Michael Kelly looks like he might be closing ground. Jimmy Shane just took a big old hop coming into turn 2, and you know what? It looks like that baby blue boat is looking at the checkered flag because Brad Luce, bring him down to the checkered flag.
Yeah, Kelly closed some ground coming up the backstretch on that one. Not enough. He's not going to be able to get him from here. Jimmy Shane and the U1, Miss HomeStreet, is going to come down and take a first place in our Heat 3A, at least on the water. Heat 3A presented by Davies Electric. J. Michael Kelly will come home in second place, again on the water. These results are unofficial until the boats go through tech inspection. But it was a first place on the water for Jimmy Shane and the Miss HomeStreet. Second place to J. Michael Kelly. And third place coming off the top end of the race course right now is the U9, Corey Peabody. I'm getting some notes handed to me. It is not going to have anything to do with Jimmy Shane or J. Michael Kelly. There is some question. So Kay Brewer, we were just, our executive producer here, Tana Morissette, is monitoring the H1 radio, and I think she's going to have to, in the off-season, take a crash course in speed riding or something. Don't erase that just yet. I haven't said it yet. But she was writing down that there has been a violation on the 9. That's Corey Peabody, a DMZ violation prior to the start. That obviously occurred when the U9 and the U8 were just doing donuts in the middle of the race course. And on one of those particular times, apparently, Corey Peabody went through the no-no zone, the safety zone, where the safety and patrol boats are. You can't go in there. If you do, it is an automatic disqualification. I suspect that the way Corey ran in that heat, he may have already known that. He stayed out of the fray between Mike and Jimmy. It was a great boat race between the two. This is not over. Again, want to remind everybody these results are unofficial at this point, but if they were to stand as they just finished on the water, that 180-point lead that Mike held on Jimmy in the National High Points Drivers Championship, that just shrunk to 80 points. There's a 100-point difference there between first and second, and if they stay the way they did on the water after going through tech inspection, 180 just shrunk to 80. Going to make for a very, very, very interesting final heat.
We've got Jimmy Shane. Jimmy Shane, that was a great heat, but let's reverse back to the very beginning during the warming of the Millis. You are going slow around, and all you can do, every time you come around, you see J. Michael Kelly cutting the course, cutting the course, cutting the course. What was going through your mind when you said, maybe I should cut the course and skip off some time right on it? Michael Kelly was right on your tail the whole time because we were talking about this all day. It's a points scam. We are running for points this weekend, and the gap gets smaller and smaller and smaller.
Yeah, it's great to have something to race for. That'd be something exciting.
All right, well, we're going to let you get up to your team. I'm sure you guys might be making some slight adjustments because we got a lot more racing. Brad Luce, tell us what's next on the docket.